Hello everyone. I wasn't going to do a video, but Alberti did a video and he asked some good questions. So I thought, blimey, 3 people already. And I thought, oh yeah, they're good questions. Oh, pirate, the sneak. So whilst I thought they were good questions, I believe that everybody who thinks they're the solver will have their own answers that they believe will answer the questions that Alberti gave. And Wu Kane did a video as well about, 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead. And, those sort of statements are the beginnings of trying to understand. I hope nobody ever finds out who the real Forrest Fenn is. And 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead is very important. Well, you lot are in quick today. Hi, Redneck. How's it going? And OK, Larry. Or just Larry. I don't know if OK's with you. I'm glad you're in straight away, Pirate. That was pretty quick, that was. You beat INFJ. That's... Ah, hello, INFJ. That's something for you to be there before INFJ. Yeah, it's a video worth watching. And if you're honest, it's a video worth being honest too. What I've tried to say in my videos is you have to look at your solve as though Forrest was judging it. So it probably would be best if you imagined that it wasn't your solve. So if you're Street, imagine that your solve is Davey. Not Davey, Dave, sorry. So Dave, man from the East. So you have to imagine that you're Dave, man from the East, and you're looking at your solve and you're trying to find problems with it. It doesn't have to be Dave, it could be anybody. But you have to try and find issues with it. Not try and confirm that you're right, but try and prove that you're wrong. And it doesn't matter if you can't prove that you're wrong, because that's the whole point. The solve has to be correct. And Alberti was asking questions that potentially should stump people who haven't got the correct solve. But my feeling is people will make up their own answers to why their solve is correct. So whilst they're good questions, I believe that people will answer them in whatever way they choose, whether they know the answers or not. And it's always been down to Forrest. The answer's always been down to Forrest. So I don't see those people that have solves turn around and say, no, I don't know those answers. I can't work them out. What video do I speak of? So Alberti has put a video out. So if you go into Forrest Fenn and then do today, it will come up. And his avatar or her avatar looks very similar to Fendi's video that he put out with Oxo, the O and the X. Looks like a jumper or a carpet or something. And it looks very similar to that. And was asking the solver rhetorical questions. If the solver knew, certain information. There is, what is there? There is a way to know and a way to end it, Forrest says. And in some cases with that, he says, I'm leaving that for the finder. But the story is real, the treasure is real. I don't see many people offering up those sort of answers as to why Forrest makes those statements. But if you truly are, the solver, I believe you have to be able to answer any of those statements that Forrest made and understand why he said them. Davey keeps saying that he's waiting for something to come from left field. But I think, left field is the spot. A synonym of spot. And I did shot, but spot. They have words that are in the poem. Potentially important words. And people give out souls. But they ignore the fact that Forrest said there's a key word in the poem, and you need all of them. And they, seem to throw that away. In fact, they throw most of what Forrest says away because it doesn't tie in with their soul. And they, just brush it off as though they're not real statements. They are to throw off the solver, lead the solver astray, lead a solver, lead a person astray, instead of it being a factual statement. Whereas I believe it's the other way. And one of the questions Alberti says is, did you listen good? And I think that was the whole point. I think you had to listen good. And again, this is not about whether me and Davey are the solvers or not. This is about whether Forrest makes it work or not. That was what he said in The Thrill of the Chase. And that has nothing to do with somebody finding a chest. Forrest can make it work by putting a chest out in the Rocky Mountains and somebody finding it. He could leave it out in the open, right next to a road, and just put it there, and then somebody would be driving past and find it. He could make it work that simply. And even that word simply is, or simple is a good word. I'm missing everybody. Alberti's here. Great video, Alberti. I didn't know you were in. Larry, Alberti's in chat. His video, or her video. Welcome to the dark side of it. Yeah, I've not put the main light on. It's just another one. And you... I can just about read. Not because I can't read, but the screen's pink, as I said before. And it's difficult to read the writing. Yeah, wouldn't mind that myself. Oh, you got orders. Start up your own business. Yeah, I'm a bit heavy. A bit too much to catch live. Not the usual fish that you probably catch. But no, true, it's a good video. Good questions to ponder and important ones, But like I left a comment, I think those people that say they've solved it will believe that they will answer those questions, and those questions, their answer will be the right or correct answer. But I think it's almost impossible for people who have the souls that they have to justify the information that Forrest Fenn gave out. And to know why Forrest said, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead, is a very, 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 very important statement, not just a funny, off-the-cuff remark. It's important to the chase. Like I was saying, Zozo, it's rhetorical questions toward the finder. asking if they understand, A, the poem, and B, some of the things that Forrest has said. And very good video. Very good questions. Don't know if it means that Alberti knows the answers. Maybe does, and maybe that's why the questions being asked, or doesn't know the answers and asking those questions because those questions should be answered. I'm not sure. Rhetorical? What? Link me. Link you. There's a good statement. All you need to do is just go YouTube, Forrest Fenn, click today, and it will come up. Oh, questioning yourself. Not sure if it's questioning yourself, but it's definitely questioning the thoughts that you had regarding the information that you were given. Oh, right. Alberti says it is about questioning yourself. So, yeah. So I got the impression it was questioning the answers that you believe you have. But yeah, I suppose that's questioning yourself. I didn't think it meant questioning yourself in life in general. But, ask yourself, what if? There are people that have a finished solution. So in their mind, there's no need to go back to the beginning because they are 100% in all that they have worked out. Whereas me, I see a word like spot being a car park. So there's a solve already. And I see it being a park, and there's another solve. And, Dunkirk, is that one? There are lots of topics in the chase that are made into solves. And I believe they're made into solves because of the words. And I believe that Forrest put those words out I believe that those words came out into the public attention. And then whichever mindset you had, that is the journey that you took. I was going over some of the words that I looked at, spot being one of them. But also when, not WHEN, WEN. People talk about the 7 cities of gold. Now, in that instance, they were told that they had a map, but nobody could read the map. And that's like the chase. Forrest has created a map in a poem, and everybody interprets it differently. And Forrest says words don't mean what you think they do. And maybe 7 cities of gold doesn't mean 7 cities. If you look up the word city, it could be village or pueblo or, different things. So 7 pueblos of gold. If you were looking at 7 cities, now a city, let's be generous. Get a city every 10 miles. You would have to have 70 miles of cities. That's pretty obvious to find. Very obvious to find. Or even if you sort of like did 10 miles, 10 miles, 10 miles, 10 miles round in a circle, there would still be a fair distance, but you'd still find 7 cities. So maybe cities doesn't mean cities. Maybe it means vaults or something else, and that's why people don't find it, because they believe that it says cities. But it could have been a similar map to what Forrest did, and people don't know how to read. Definitely up my alley. 30 plus years. Wow. You and Street will get on. I can't find the video that way. Yeah, I just typed in Forrest Fenn and then the filters for today, and then allowed come up for today. Normally, Josh Jordan's, hundreds of them. I think if you type in Alberti, Forrest Fenn, it might come up then. But I just type in Forrest Fenn and then it gives you lots of options. And then I click on filters and put today, and whatever's come out today, read the permative so you can get it yourself. So I've found myself in that poem so many times you wouldn't believe it. 2 is the secret. I'll keep. I'm still alive, but that's fine. More than the next to yeah, I'm not trying to put words into your mouth. I'm not saying that you are saying you need to solve. I'm just saying, from me watching it, I didn't know whether you were someone who knew the answers and was asking people if they knew them, or whether you didn't know the answers and you want to know the answers, so you want somebody to tell them. I didn't know which way you were doing it, but it was all good. I believe you, AA, 2 A's. So in the chase, everybody's looking for answers. But I think if you are the solver, you already know the answers. You shouldn't be looking for answers if you're the solver. It's as simple as that. You shouldn't be. Forrest said, all you need is a poem. The poem is the map. Even that statement, if you knew the geographical location to each clue, so if you knew the spot to each clue, it would be a map to the treasure. I think, people, I don't know if they're winding up or, whether they know or don't know, but I'm not being horrible to Ben Napple. I'm just saying, if you look at the word Ben, it does mean nap, K-N-A-P. And there's possibly a reason why it's now called pickle jar and not olive jar. Because of another word, not because of the word pickle, but because of another word. I'm a pretty good listener. Did you? Page 23 of 24. Oh, well, you see, unfortunately, I didn't read it. So, whilst I was involved in the thrill of the chase, I was not able to justify spending, that amount of money on the book plus the postage and packing to get it over here. And that would be the same for Too Far to Walk and Once in a While. Can't remember if I solved it before Too Far to Walk, to be fair, or thought I'd solved it before Too Far to Walk. Thing is, I don't even know when they came out, because I was catching up on old videos. When I came to the chase, it was nearly finished. No, that sounds strange. It wasn't long before it was finished. So I came to the chase, and then not long after that, it was finished. So it had been going for at least 8 years, maybe more, by the time I entered it. So obviously, I've told you that I went to Wyoming thinking that I'd already solved it. So when I came back, I didn't think that I needed too far to walk or once in a while for more information. Plus, I would have to justify spending that money just for the book, which is not a bad thing, but I couldn't justify that. It's like even now I can't justify spending money on my on a laptop, even though I'm looking at a pink screen and can't hardly read what's wrote, or go through the poem with Davy because I can't see the different colours because they're all almost the same colour, just a different shade lighter or darker. And the other laptop, it's just so slow, it takes forever. Yeah, hear me or listen good, meant to listen to. Yeah, I think I've said that before. Not just his interviews, but scrapbooks and stuff like that. And the book, there are hints in the book that will help you with the clues in the poem. Not that you need the hints in the book. He doesn't say you need them. He just said the hints in the book will help you with the clues. But he did say if you knew the geographical location to each clue, it would be a map to the treasure. And Will Aware was questioning whether Forrest said, I think he knew he said the hot water affect the patina, but in water, not underwater. What was the other one? The chest is wet. Did the hot water affect the patina? I think Forrest was making statements that helped in regard to that. I believe the chest, was wet because of the information that Forrest was given, not because it's wet in the Rocky Mountains and it always stays wet, which is the reason he gave when he made that statement. Also, Forrest said, I wish I had never said yes. Why do people think that helps or doesn't help? Sneaky. Yeah, I think if you look up the word sneak, pirate, you'll find yourself in there and you'll find other people in there. But that's one thing that really, it doesn't annoy me, but upsets me, I suppose, is that Ben was looking for the sneak and Capro was looking for, the really good person that was helping in the chase. And Forrest hardly got a mention as to either of those. And yet he's both of those in, in spades or hearts. It's like, are you having a laugh? Have you forgot about the person who set this up, who gave all the information that was needed, who, feels there's some pirate in him, in his DNA or whatever? You can't get more of a sneak than a pirate, can you, pirate? So, pirate was dismissed. Even I tried to dismiss pirate. I'm playing the game, but nobody seems to question it. Nobody. That's something me and Davey talk about, is nobody seems to question strange things that we say. And it's amazing. It's like either they know and, yeah, so what? Or they don't know and they don't care because they believe, it's all about them. Some people put stuff out and I think, shit, they know. And then in the next breath they talk something and I think, what? What's that got to do with it? Oh. To progress. I relied on cracking hints to progress. I'm not sure if you're being cryptic there or not. So let's imagine 350,000 people solved the poem. And then out of those 350,000 people went. Let's imagine 150,000 people solved the poem. If they all had different souls, there would have to be 150,000 where warm water halts. So let's drop that down to 15,000. Still a lot of warm water halts. But if they all solved the poem, if you drop it down to 1,500, there would be 1,500 warm water halts. And those people will believe that their solve is correct. And some people will duplicate the solve, so they will start at the same warm waters halt, but may, vary in the down the canyon doing this, whatever. To me, that doesn't seem the right way to do it, because if 20 people search the same area, you'd have to say it's not there. It's not there. And there can only be so many warm waters halts, so pretty much people are searching the same area. And that's true because searchers have said I found this here and I found that there and I found this painted stuff here and whatever, or a broken blaze, or I purposely broke a blaze or put a blaze to fool the other people, whatever, which I think is not right in my book. But you have to question whether that sort of solve is credible. Not if their solve is credible, but if that's the sort of solve that Forrest had intended and made. So therefore there has to be the subterfuge. Now, Forrest didn't say there wasn't any. He said in sight. There's no subterfuge in sight, which means you don't see it. It's there, but you don't see it. And then he talked about, I'm not giving it away. They're going to have to earn it. If my first solve didn't take long at all, and I was off. And this gold fever is real. You want it so much, and you believe that it's possible to, solve this poem, and you have all the right answers. And all that is spurring you on, come back to that. All that's spurring you on is gold, wealth. So, Ben, don't squat with your spurs on. Ben means spur. Ben means nap. It's like the words that are given to us, or given to Ben, are, there for a reason. Or all of this chase is very coincidental. It all just happens to be what it is, and none of it was planned. Where do we go from here? Which is the way that's clear? Still looking for that spot. David Essex, if you didn't know. You don't go from anywhere. I mean, water halt. Yeah, water's halt. Yeah, water's halt and water hard. Hey, who's good? How you doing? Yo, 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 bro. Yeah, the warm water's halt. Even that halt. Halt is spot. Yeah, halt is spot. So business as usual. Well, I think Forrest said stop looking for that part of the chase. But he did say, look forward to new discoveries. People don't seem to understand or forget that was mentioned. And, there's still the jars and the bells to be found. So within the chase, there's still that, but, there may be other discoveries. Maybe, Forrest did write ha, 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 and there's not D.B. Cooper's money, but there's something there. It's not D.B. Cooper's money. Even the word Baha is in D.B. Cooper, but also in the chase, because that's where Ben met Forrest, and that's where the flies were kept, possibly. Maybe even in the same bar. So this chase is crazy like a fox. Just, it's like walking through a minefield. Somebody's gone through that minefield and you have to follow in those footsteps. Otherwise you just plop. It's just be crazy. So you have to follow in those footsteps. And Forrest himself, put one foot down and stepped on it. So why would you do anything different? Why would you try and make your own path? Why wouldn't you just follow the same path that Forrest took? To get to the same place, hopefully. This is trying to think, like, where do we go from here? The statement was fun and answers, Hollywood ending, epic. Those words mean the same thing. And I'm not saying that me and Davey are correct, but those sort of things are coming true that we've been talking about, in the way that we've been talking about them. You're now talking about Hollywood. So, is there a film ending? But epic means poem. So is there a poem ending? Do we find out what's in the poem? The solve. Do we realise why it's simple? Why didn't I think of that? Do we realise why it's difficult but not impossible? All of those things. Do we understand? Forrest said, if I can't take it with me, then I'm not going. And then did a treasure hunt because of that statement. And do we understand, again, what Alberti was talking about, do we understand why Forrest said that? Do we understand why he said two can keep secret if one of them is dead? Do we understand why Forrest said, I hope nobody ever finds out who the real Forrest Fenn is? Are they in the solves that you have? And if not, why not? Do you still believe in your solve if they're not, if you don't understand those sort of statements? The chase will end when something ends it. That's what Forrest said. If Forrest is not here, that was a question. If Forrest is not here, what happens with the chase? Well, it will go on until something ends it. So not somebody finding a chest. It will go on until something ends it. And Forrest couldn't end it even if he wanted to, he said. So therefore, he set something in motion. And it had already started. But if it had to follow the book and the poem, those answers are already given. They're already given to us in the poem, in the book, everything. It's all got to fit. Now, Forrest can't end it because someone will find those answers eventually. And that thing has to take place, that memory, where even memory hasn't been. Until you get that, which is, potentially, in the near future, until you get that, this doesn't complete. It doesn't do what Forrest is going to make happen. It's not complete, and therefore doesn't follow what's in the poem, what's in the book, and makes it all come together and have the catalyst, or however Forrest put it. So that's what's, in the future, what we're going to do. Where do we go from here is what I'm trying to say. We have faith in the Maverick. We believe that Forrest will make it happen, and it will happen. It's not a what if it happens or when it happens. Not if it happens. It will happen. So it's more when, not if. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, absolutely. Following the path Forrest took is much easier said than done. Absolutely. Not easy. But Forrest said that. You know, they're going to have to earn it. Not giving it away. They will have to earn it. But what are you doing? Well, I've explained, what I did, and in that somewhere is what Forrest did. You now going faster, maybe. If you put your foot down and step on it, then you're going faster, surely. But I was thinking today, and there are solves that I haven't even talked about that I've totally forgot about, but they're a good one. Cues, memories pressed between the pages of my mind. My socks. To chase ink ends it, in my opinion. No, it's not. So even if there is a chase ink, even if there is, what was put in place? The goal that was meant to be achieved. If you're trying to say that Forrest is in charge of Chase Inc., what was put into place is not going to be ended by Chase Inc. Because if Forrest is in charge of Chase Inc., then Forrest could end it. Forrest said he couldn't end it. So if there is a Chase Inc. and Forrest is in charge of it, then Forrest still can't end it. That's the whole reason for the statement. So if there is a Chase Inc., it's not going to be ended by Chase Inc. They may give you the answers, but it won't end. Something will end the chase, and you may get the answers from who you deem to be Chase Inc., but I don't think they end it. Pirates don't earn it, they take it. If you've got to earn it. And well, there's some logic to that. Yeah, up's always good. Up is always good. Burning the candle at both ends. What is that all about? There's a reason why that statement's made. Shiver me timbers. Captain Kidd was a privateer. Oh yeah, if you look at the map, there's a Captain Kidd on that map. On my screenshot. I like to give that information, but the idea, which I've always said was in the poem, spelt in the poem, backwards. I give you title to the gold is ID, and then E is from there, and A is from as. So the idea encompassed in the poem, and the big picture, being the spot, is what everyone was looking for. Now, when we get the spot, something ends the chase. Then he turned into a pirate, or a detective, or sneak. He turned into a sneak, or a creep, or a rascal, or a scoundrel, or heavy, or trying to think of the words that I've got a lot of words in my head that mean those things. Trying to think of some of the things that Forrest talked about. It'd be interesting, Pirate, to know how long you've been a pirate. Wow, there's a question. Firstly, two ends. Yeah. I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to. Could be everything that's gone on in the chase. But you have to remember that Forrest said, more than an asterisk in a book and not forgotten. So maybe he's not attributed to something that he should be attributed to, or didn't want to be attributed to, so he could make take it with him. No, I was referring to something else a bit more simple. I don't know what that is. What if Forrest is not in charge of Chance Inc? So there's two ways you can look at this. Forrest was employed to do this, and somebody behind the scenes is running everything. Or Forrest indeed did this, and he's in charge of everything. But again, something ends the chase. If Forrest could have ended it, he would have ended it. But it had to happen the way that it was supposed to the point of a place where memory has not been. Had to get to that point. Had to. The process was set in motion, and that was the chase, the thrill of the chase. And Forrest had his own thrill of the chase while we were doing ours, and we joined in the adventure with him, and shared in the same passion and all of those statements that Forrest made. Hi Amy, how you doing? These are just my opinions. I believe that Davey thinks the same way, but I can't speak for Davey. For off the cuff answers that I give. So he worked for the man and turned an entrepreneur. Well, even my costs were making a profit, Forrest said. If you understand that, you could, you probably do understand what Forrest has done. And if you don't understand that, you won't until you slap around the face with it and showed it. Hey there, Gulliver's Travels. Hey Tim, how you doing? I like that. Gulliver Adventures as Travels. I like that. The little people. Forrest talked about the little Lilliputians, and they're a synonym of something. So I think most of the scrapbooks were ways of getting out information. People say, "Well, Forrest is talking to me. Forrest is talking to me because of this, this, and this." But I think Forrest talked to people and said, "Look, your solve's incorrect." K-Pro's statement is the best. If you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. But there are others. Blind man can't find the chest. The chest is wet. If the chest is not wet, if it's in a car park somewhere and it's dry, how does that relate to a correct solve? In my opinion, it doesn't. And I can't say it's incorrect because I'm not Forrest. But Forrest himself said, wherever it is, it has to be wet. I know the chest is wet, so wherever it is, wherever you think it is, it's wet or was wet because stop looking. Look, I am, your government at the moment is like making my eyes pop. A man was, high profile man in your government. You probably know who I'm talking about. Was accused and arrested or whatever it was, stripped down to bare bones, not paid, falsely, someone who was sticking up for people legally. It's like, how does that happen? This man who, I don't know what you call them, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, all of those things, whatever that he does, just because of his political beliefs, a man elected to office by the people was stripped because, he didn't work for a political party. It's crazy. It's crazy. In America, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. From the outside looking in, it's like, what? We hear so much about, by the people, for the people, etc., 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 and then a bloke can be stripped because of political belief, not by the people, but by another party. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Redneck, we mentioned that there was going to be one. If you remember the KK, the Kris Kringle that I did, even the name, same name. It doesn't matter whether he does or he doesn't. What we were saying is there's information in the poem that will come out in the chase. So yeah, my thoughts were, I already knew. Same with, I already knew, or we already knew about Indiana Jones and the title of the film and the days are going to be released and the lottery numbers and all sorts of things. Hi, Nikki. Yeah, no one can get closer than the first two clues, so yeah. Thanks for that. Or the boyfriend. I mean, even Puerto Rico's a clue or a hint or a subtle statement. It's like, what? And to me, I think it's a blatant, slap around the face sort of clue. That Puerto Rico was stated, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. This, yeah, and that's why it's more than the chest. There is a lot that I would love to say, and even if I said it, I could be wrong. Absolutely don't think for 1 millisecond that what I and Davy Reed have read, will read in the poem, is not going to take place. That will take place. Some is just information. Some is real events. Real history, real future. How Forrest does it, I don't know. How he put it in the poem, I don't know. But is it in there? Of course it is. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely is in there. And Forrest said, all you need is a poem. So it would make him a liar if that wasn't the case. But again, 350,000 people went looking, even if only 1,000 or 1,500 of those had souls. Forrest put them all in the poem, including, Five Leaf says, I found the cipher, it's the best soul. No, it's not. They're all the best souls. Forrest put them all in there. They're all good solutions. He told us in the statement that Bible verses, head pressures, blah, 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 all good solutions. So he must have known of them. And he says in the poem, the answers I already know. So, he gave out a book with the answers in the back, nearly, in the poem. He gave us a book with the answers in the back and he said, here's your test. Read the book, read the poem, read it over and over till something catches up in your brain. Even that is, a hint or a confirmer that he was given to the potential finder, because he said he was giving this to the finder, not the seeker, or it's to aid the finder, not the seeker. This, if it's a Hollywood ending, it could be Hollywood itself, or it could be epic, which is Hollywood, or it could be fun, which is epic, which is Hollywood, or it could be poem, which is epic, which is Hollywood. That it's a different word, but it's the same meaning. So it could be a poem ending. You could find out what the answers are in the poem, or it could be all of the above. It could be, a movie, but then are you going to find it out? Are you going to find the answers in the movie? Do you have to watch the movie first before you find the answers? Or do you get the answers before you go and watch the movie? If there is a movie. I will see if it happens. I have a movie idea, but I don't know if Ed was interested. I don't know how to play canasta. Have you stayed home and played canasta? See, Steve hasn't stayed home and played canasta. Tim hasn't stayed home and played canasta. Tim's been out and about. Tim, Kirkland Tim. He's been... See, that's another thing. Dave is trying to base the solve on what Forrest deemed to be you wasting your time. If you don't have where warm water's hot, you might as well stay home and play canasta. So his solve is what Forrest was saying, was pretty much, don't bother going. And there's another statement that helps the finder, in my opinion. And Zozo says it himself, if you don't have a picture with your hands on the chest, blah, 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 it didn't happen. And like I say, I could literally, I could take a screenshot and show you a picture. Does anybody know if anybody's going live? Because there was a statement that we're going to go live every day until we get fun and answers. And it's the 14th for me, 13th for you, 14th for Davey. So within a day or two, Davey tells me that a whisperer was saying the 22nd, so I don't know how they know, because unless, crystal ball. My parents, grandparents haven't played in years. Maybe refresh your hand. Alberti, intervention died September 7th. To understand and use the Ching with the Book of Change. Ching or Chin? Is it I Ching? I Chin. Must be thinking of something else. Doug Preston references a movie in 2000. Yes, so something to do with whatever lapsed on that. He gave a suggestion about the movie and then said something lapsed or whatever it was. But I can't remember what the terminology is. But yeah, we've been talking about a movie. Well, Davey definitely talking about a movie, but I think I wanted Richard Dean Anderson to play. I think we've talked about this before, to be fair. Trying to find who was going to play Forrest. Which quote was that? The fishing regulations. Oh, I'm eager to learn, understand, and then to use those. I didn't see one yesterday, but I was traveling. TW, that is. Change whether Hoyle or... so according to Hoyle, Forrest said in his military days, he was playing in the mess, and Peg was able to use the vacuum cleaner or buy the vacuum cleaner with the money that he won. according to Hoyle, may be important. Eagle. Chest ownership quote. Yes, the chest ownership quote. So, hands on the chest. Who has the hands on the chest? Well, possible that somebody you knew may have the hands on the chest and did have the hands on the chest, which is in the poem, at an auction. But somebody else has their hands on the chest. Would that be contact? Red X. To contact across the rest of the movie. Are you talking about the one with Chew? What's her name? Like Jennifer? No, Michelle Pfeiffer, is it? I remember now. No, he's talking about a film that she could. He had an idea for a film that she could be doing. I think he was talking about Forrest or something. And she was like, "Oh yeah." Then he said that come on people, what's the word? There's something had lapsed. How long? And then it had lapsed. Could do that, and they hadn't done it. Smoke weed every day, Podolsky. Even the word weed and smoke weed, it's like, come on, people. So for me, when I started doing this, and INFJ, if you're still here, it's definitely cat, KAT, definitely in Australia. The word hippo app, if you go on it and then look like about us or whatever it's called at the bottom, click on that, it tells you about them. So definitely Australia. It better not be Davy B. I'll be gutted if Davy B's winding me up. I don't think he is, but it'll be funny if he was. But yeah, the information is about them. So well, is cannabis gold? Is tea gold? Cup of tea with Olga? 36-inch long bath. Why these words? I don't smoke weed. No, I don't smoke at all. I don't smoke, I don't drink. But I have no brain cells to worry about. Is it me, or is Mario talking from his ham radio? That could be where I could be talking out my backside, but no ham radio. CB, rubber duck. There is a code in the poem that deals in that speak. So the 10-4 stuff, which basically says repeat. Bad connection or something, interference. I don't know. But yeah, there's that in the poem as well. I haven't told you about that, or I might have told you about it. I can't remember. Some weird souls got in that poem. Hi MJ, how's it going? Oreos are gold. Or is gold, definitely. Breaking up. Oh right. Well, it says all of my life, all of my kisses. It says it's all full here. Although it might be that as I said, laptop isn't best. It seems to work really hard. And it sounds like Kiwi said the other day, it sounds like a plane taking off. So maybe that noise is drowning out me. So what if I get closer to the frighten you with my face and get closer to the screen, if that helps. Can you do puppet shadows on your cat? No, I think Forrest would have to do that. He's the puppet master. Yeah, Mr. Convoy. Sitting in the dark. Well, I was trying to convey a message of it does seem like we're in the dark, but there is a bit of light. So I think, as it gets lighter, we're obviously, coming out of the tunnel, pulling into the station, hopefully we're there. We'll rush off, get off onto the platform, which is another important word. Very intelligent guy, I think. You scored 132 years ago and smoked cannabis, so it's false that brain cells die. Yes. 132? I have enough factual evidence for what should be illegal. It is illegal. Go back to prohibition. Oh, that was another statement. Hope out of depression. Wow. So Forrest said Pandora's box will be open. 100%. Chaos. 100%. What else did he say? About the ending. Big picture. Absolutely. What else? Go. There's a lot of synonyms for that word. Big picture. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, otherwise I'll just tell you. See, I don't even know what is a high Mensa score, to be fair, or what is a low Mensa score. I would assume if you're saying 132, then 100 must be, good. Even that, although you spelt borders wrong. Borders. That's an important word. Crazy word. So even the word borders is, helpful. Like what? Like the same shenanigans have been going on 3.5 years. Because of they're not the same shenanigans. So I imagine information given is not the same as the information I hear. And I look to the to the real story and the real treasure. So whilst there's information coming out, I mean, the information that Cynthia went across the Madison to the long flat island, I can't remember how that went, and to Totem Cafe was in the poem. So when that shenanigans came along and they did that, what I didn't expect was Capro to be with her. I didn't expect that. But Cynthia Meacham in the Madison on the flat island going to Totem Cafe, that was in the poem. So that was always going to happen. And while it might seem like shenanigans, it happened. I didn't expect Capro to be with her, but she was. So, I was wrong in that sense, or we were wrong in that sense. But, that was information. Some will say shenanigans, what's that all about? But those things have to take place before the ending. It's like watching a season of Lost. It's no good having the ending without knowing everything that happened beforehand. You have to see the whole series before you get the end. So it's been planned. Those things have to happen. Those things will be confirmation of the end result. So going back, you can see that when the real ending happens, it's all above board. It's all good, though. Tim not trying to step onto. By the way, man. Oh, you could have put a Maz there, and then that would have been me. Maz. Mary Hanukkah one's Maz. Yes, same to you. It's difficult now because Borders for us to go to it. Yes. Twice, 2 endings. Borders went to there twice. Same as 2 Omegas, same as blah blah blah, and it was raining. Yeah, I think you've got the right idea. Just happy holidays, because there are people from different parts of the world that I've always been used to just saying Merry Christmas because it's our Christmas, and yet now I realise they don't celebrate Christmas, and I might be insulting them. It's difficult to say to them Merry Christmas. I just say, have a good celebration, whatever it is. It's weird, horrible, crazy. Like watching a slow motion train wreck. Only if it's on the Katy Railroad in Texas. Then some people could watch that. That was interesting. What I did about that, plus the fire that was there, the blaze that they do. But like I say, all this information, the 9 Mile Hole, all this information is, given to us to go down our rabbit hole, which is another word that is interesting. There's another word in that as well. Rabbit hole, and on the other side, I can't remember what it was now. Rabbit hole is a word we're given. And rabbit hole is good, even though a rabbit hole could be correct if it wasn't the wrong rabbit hole. Yes, season of Lost. Like Forrest and Skippy. No, Forrest and Donny. Sorry, Forrest and Donny. Even that statement. I told my mother and father I was going outside for some elbow room. That bit on its own is important, but Donny was quick to take the hint. What is elbow room, and what was Donny quick to take the hint for? I was going to go somewhere with that, and it went another synonym, and it's gone out of my head, so sorry. I allow suggestion. Police cannabis. I also suggest viewing against those who speak out over it. Okay. Folks in the our truth is made up by our own thoughts, but it's not our truth that we're looking for. It's Forrest's truth. So whilst people talk about the shenanigans that are going on, I think these are all the truths that Forrest gave us. We just don't understand them. So we are waiting for Forrest's truth in our language, not in Fenn speak. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for it to be translated. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a translation of Fenn speak. then when we get the translation, we will understand how to understand. Who has wrong details? We all have wrong details, don't we? Hi, Angie. Happy holidays to you as well. Research during this time. So that's one thing that I've been saying for most of the chase. How do people... Davey tells me that, Five Leaf got a, I don't know, a hounding out by certain people, same people that hounded out other people. And it's like, well, how can they say that Five Leaf is wrong if they don't know what the answers are? How can you vilify somebody about their solve if you don't have the correct solve? It amazes me that people can, verbally lay into people about their solve, and yet they only have an opinion that they're correct and that the other person is incorrect. It's like, what? I don't know. Whilst I don't agree with Five Leaf that being the correct solve that Forrest wanted, I can't say that he is incorrect because I'm not Forrest. So the information that Five Leaf gives is truthful information, accurate information that is available to be found, same as everybody else. Whether it's right or not is up to Forrest. It's not up to anyone else. Certainly not me, certainly not Davey. It's not up for us to say that somebody's wrong, only that we think that we will be correct. No, I don't think it is sinking in. Miss Ford, you'll have to speak to her. She's pretty good at Spanish. But I think, slipping out the window doesn't help. Down the fire escape with rust stains. Even that. If you slip out the window with rust stains on your pants and everybody knows what you did, how is it you're the only one that knows how to do it if everybody knows what you did? Well, they will know because of that. It's a scare tactic and work. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate and happy holidays to everyone else. Enjoy your time. Yes, absolutely. See, I have always been under the deduction that Christmas didn't start until Christmas Eve. And then there was 12 days. Now people start celebrating in November and go all the way through. So now I have no idea. I don't know if there's 12 days of Christmas are before Christmas or after Christmas. But if you're celebrating Christmas before Christmas, that effectively throws out New Year. So you're celebrating two different things. You're celebrating that Christmas period, and then you're celebrating the New Year period. But I thought it all went into one, but maybe not. Maybe it starts... No, it has to be Christmas Eve. I'm sorry. It says it is. But Merry Christmas to all those who do. And happy, that big long word, if you don't. And, if you're Chinese, I'll see you in the new year and you can celebrate then or whatever. It has no problem. Yeah, hi Lorraine, by the way. Lorraine, Larry hopes you have an amazing holidays. No, Zozo, I can't say that. Hannah Kwanzmas. Covers them all. Oh, it covers them all. Oh, I see. That's why. Happy Hannah. Yes, you've added Christmas on the end of it. Yes. Merry birthday. We'll catch on. I can't even say Xmas, let alone that. Actually, hang on. Why can't we just say Hansmas? That's good. Merry Hansmas. Oh no. Merry, yeah. Because you've got the H and then you've got Quans and you've got Mass. So you could have the Han Z Mass. Or HANZMA. Hansma. Go for it, Zozo. Change the world. Happy Hansma. I like that. Happy Hansma. I can't say that big long word. Between Christmas and Epiphany are the 12 days. Yeah, but what date? I don't know what date Epiphany falls on. Stop trying to change it. No, but that sounds good. Hansma. Happy Hansma. Happy Hansmas. I like it. Oh, you can claim it. I don't want to claim it. I'm just saying I like it. It's a lot easier than saying Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hansmas. The thing is, there has to be a type of person that exists for these stories to go around, just like, Noah. There's a flood in every religion. So it must have happened. It must have. So therefore, you have to believe in a higher hand. I don't know if Five Leaf seems to have the experience or what's it? Come on, Five. How you doing? Nice to see you. I think, Forrest gave us all to solve, every single one of us. And we were supposed to believe it because I think Forrest wanted to take it with him. It didn't matter. The whole point, Forrest said, he came up with the idea because Ralph Lauren asked him for the headdress. He said, "No way, Jose. I don't give you my headdress." And Ralph Lauren said, "But Forrest, you can't take it with you." Well, if I can't take it with me, I'm not going. But then he says, "Why is it that I must go?" And possibly make my trove for all to seek, which is what Forrest told us he did. Put it all together. So maybe leave means make my trove for all to seek. Why must I go? Can two people keep a secret if one of them is dead? Can two people keep a secret if one of them is dead? It's possible. It's possible. Two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. So, and the reason I say that is because other people have already said it, otherwise I wouldn't have said it. But, or questioned it, or asked it. How's the music going, Five? DP said Jack, Steve, and Wyoming. So, bookstores. So, Jack, the finder. Spare a thought for the author. 4 cards and a joker, which is a jack. Stay home and play canasta. 4 cards and a joker. So that could be 4 states and a jack. That's exactly what we've got. And you play whether you like it or not. Or it could be 4 states and Forrest, the joker. or the rascal, or the maverick, or whatever other word fits in with that. And, as far as says, you see how that goes. What are you renting? Why people still talk about the chest when Forrest says there are a lot of subchapter S's with that? What? What? Hang on. There are a lot of subchapter S's with that. 20 different types of land. You wouldn't last a minute on Indian land. 20 different types of land for one chest. And there are subchapter S's for one chest. What? Hang on. I take the chest and go in peace. The chest that I solved in the poem. This chest that I found in the poem that I solved and I took in peace, that I don't need a title for because it's just a chest that I found and I took in peace and went. So I don't need a title. There are subchapter S's and you put it on 20 different types of land, not even the four corners. On 20 different types of land, you put one chest with subchapter S's. How does that work? I don't know. Let me look into that. So, Forrest gave out information, factual information, and people ignore it. I looked up 20 different types of land with the lawyers. I spent a lot of money, so much money, blah, blah, blah. 20 different types of land. There was only ever going to be one spot. There was only ever going to be one spot. So it doesn't matter how many solves you have or how good your solve is. There was only ever going to be one spot. And within that, or about that, there was going to be subchapter S's. There was going to be 20 different types of land. And you need to put it on your bed for 30 days because there's a lot to think about. But just take the chest and go in peace. Two minus one equals one. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Well, I don't know what's right, but yeah, thanks. Thanks, MJ. 1. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Yes, in a way. 2 still keep the secret. So yes, in a way, but 2 still keep the secret. You're a rascal for bringing that up, Mario. Little rascal, our gang. I'm not sure which part you're talking about because I try to bring a lot up so people are more confused after I finish than when I start. The information that I have given is correct information as far as I know. I am telling the whole truth in my imagination of that truth. In everything that I've said, I've tried to be honest with everything that I've said to you. Everything. I've tried to be honest. But I've tried not to step on Forrest's toes or interfere with what's going on. My reason for coming into this was because people were being nasty to Forrest. And I know Forrest doesn't need anybody sticking up for him, but, I was a little bit irate that these greedy people wanted something for nothing and had no loyalty to, the person that did this. And that's because I didn't know who was who in the zoo. And it was like, these crazy people. But as time went on, there were less real searchers and more people that were just in it, were just here. So the information didn't need to be for those people who are real searchers. It became information to people who know what's going on, or who might know what's going on. And Davey likes to inform those in the know that we know, which is not a bad thing. Whereas, I was quite happy to, wait until 2025 if that was the case. Because Forrest says it doesn't do anything for more than 15 years. So that would only be the case if Forrest could end it. Or if Forrest knew that somebody could end it, doing something. My thoughts, I'm not saying that's what it is, but they would be the only reasons. Forrest couldn't end it, so he must know somebody who's able to do something, or must know something that will happen, that will end it. That's how I see it. Those are Forrest's words. That's how I saw it. So 15 years would have been the limit. Now you throw into the equation other information, and it could be earlier. And the alternate ending is the real ending, in our opinion. It's not a fake ending. Everything is unreal, because Forrest says it is. Nothing's as it seems. So he's not lying about trying to make it happen. And these people that say fraud, they're not lying either, because potentially unreal is fraud. But it's for the right reason. Forrest is not trying to do anybody out of anything, otherwise he wouldn't have put it out there in the first place. He's only trying to make it happen. Now, the only thing that you could blame him for is he wants to take it with him. It's not the chest that was in the book. That's not what he's been talking about. So, if you're stuck on that, you need to, have a bigger picture. You're a rascal. Can't remember that. Do you keep a secret if one of them is dead? Only the live one can keep a secret. A true secret is one that no one knows but you. That was hard. 2 people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Only the live one can keep a secret. Only the live one can keep a secret. Yeah, but which one is live? Only the live one can keep a secret. So you're saying that no people can keep a secret if none of them are alive, or something like that. I don't know. Not sure how to work that one. Not very good at keeping secrets. Problem with this chase is that everybody believes everybody's in the know. That they believe they're all working for Chase Inc. Now, people believe I'm working for Chase Inc., but I can assure you now, no. I am. Well, I'm not a searcher now, but I was a searcher for the Forrest Fenn's answers. For Forrest Fenn's answers to the poem. Secrets from me should be shared. Alberti, it didn't play well. If you want to be happy, successful, make your own destiny. What was thought to be true will be revealed as false. Wow. Yes. There you go. Which is similar to, truth is only a conspiracy until it's proven true. which is what Josh says. Oh, Alberti, got rid of that. Yes, which is, potentially fraud. So people are thinking that this is fraud because they think it's true. So therefore, when they realize that it's true, then it's not fraud. Recreate a reality. Agree, Larry. Don't follow that philosophy there. Oh, that's changed. Uh-oh, that was a different one. I, the key, and the secret, FF. I had to have a highway to get from treasure to you. Yeah, he needed a vehicle. You needed a vehicle. And you drive to the first clue. The important thing is for every solver, I don't care who you are, every solver of the poem, you have to have the correct warm waters halt. Have to. Without doubt. You have to have the correct warm waters halt. Now, you have to be able to prove with the poem that you have the correct warm waters halt. Not because you say it's the warm waters halt. Not because you say, I think warm waters halt is this, or warm waters halt is this because Forrest said this. You have to prove with the poem that your warm waters halt your warm waters is correct. You have to prove that your warm waters is correct using the poem. And then explain all the other things. First two clues, walk right past the chest. How can you walk right past the chest after the first two clues? How can the little girl from India not get closer than the first two clues? How can you solve the first two clues and be halfway there, metaphorically speaking? How can you solve the first two clues and it be academic? Those questions, for anybody solve who claims that they are the solver, finder, whatever, those questions have to be answered. Now, I would take anybody on in that quest. I would love to ask every solver to tell me how their solve equates, how their solve relates to those statements. And there are others, If I told you the home brown, you go right straight to it. What? So you have to understand what those statements and why those statements were made. WFCC. The poem was the vehicle. The poem was the vehicle. I needed a vehicle for the poem. The poem was the vehicle. How's this for ending? I thought the book was the vehicle for the poem. The book was the vehicle. Oh, no. How's this for ending where you begin? Yes, 100%. Absolutely, Nikki. You end where you begin. And you know the place for the first time. Because that's when you go, as opposed to when you start. So begin, your end. And spot has a grave of a god from your very small town. I don't know how to read that. Have to think about that one. Don't know how to answer it here. Yes, begin it and end it at where warm water's halt. Yes. And know it. Begin where you started and know the place for the first time. Exactly. You closer than the first two clues. No, 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 no. Not my memory. I'm not. This is not about my memory. This is about Forrest's memory. Forrest making it happen and having that memory for the first time because it hasn't happened. Sounds like a lot of thought going on here. No thought. No thought at all. Just imagination. Just my imagination. How you doing, Street? Running away with me. Begin is the first clue, but the where is the second clue. Begin is the first clue, but the where is the second clue. I'm, I'm not comfortable with that, but it could be. Could be. Begin is the first clue, but the where is the second clue. I'm lost. Oh, you must be in thought then, Zozo. Thankfully, Street arrived to help. Yeah, no lost here. Unless you're with Ben. Ben is lost in thought. He loves his lost. Only one thought. He had more than one thought. Why are you worried about the Blaze? If you know the home of Brown. I mean, that says it all, that does. Absolutely says it all. Because those two words are pretty much the same thing. And it's like, what? Come on. Yeah, the problem is that Forrest referenced many things. And that's why everybody believes they have the correct solve. Because they can relate to what Forrest gave us. I know, Tim, but then Street would say it's also difficult to dismiss because everybody's in thought. And Dave will say it's difficult because it's Palisade sill and he slept his head on the sill and blah blah blah. And Bill will say, yeah, but the Model A Ford and Miss Ford and this, that, and the other, and somebody else will say something, and somebody else will say something, and Forrest told us this, and Forrest said that. Yep. So everybody's right, which is, I don't understand why everybody's arguing. You all have great souls. Everybody has great souls. Everybody has good solutions. Everyone. So everybody's correct. No, everybody's right. Forrest said you need a correct solve. But if everybody's right, who is correct? I can't dismiss anybody's solve because they are relatable to what Forrest has said and done. And in our opinion, they were meant to be found. They were given, in Troy's own words, he thinks Forrest gave them that solve under a different name. He gave everybody the solve. He gave the information out, DB Cooper, because it's information that's in the poem. I wish I could live to do the things I was attributed to. He could be the Amiga Man. He could be DB Cooper. He could be the Burning Man, not the Running Man. That's Arnie. He could be all of those bits of information that he wished he could, live to be attributed to. But I don't think he is all those people. But everybody will have a way to say that he is. They will have evidence that will back up their opinions and thoughts. But you're just following the wrong footprints, I think. I found pictures from the past that match many pics of searchers' faces. Uh-oh. Is mine a mugshot? No, I haven't got a mugshot. I found pictures from... Yes, I think. Well, I don't know how to read that, because if they're searchers, then the hint that you found pictures about them means they're not searchers. So me and Davey talk a lot, and we say that that interview in November 2013 was staged. The people in there were all part of it. They don't know, the exact um, goings on, but they were privy to, the questions or whatever. They were giving out the questions so Forrest could make the answers or whatever. So they were involved in some small way with this, whether paid or unpaid, I don't know. Don't care. It doesn't matter. But Forrest was going to make it happen. And however Forrest was making it happen, that was up to Forrest. He wanted to make it happen. And he can choose how to make it happen. He can write a book, and he can do a poem, and he can pay or not pay people, or it's his hunt. So he runs it however he chooses. So, for me, there was never any issue with anybody solve or anybody doing whatever they were doing, other than when some people cross the line. It's like there's no need for that, to do those things, even though you're trying to relate a chase story with real events. There's no need for it. No, everyone has a general soul and only one solution. Maybe. Does it take a leap of faith to begin it where warm waters halt? I would say you would just have to be warm and comfortable to begin where warm waters halt. But you have to believe in America. Sorry, Mario, I gotta go. It's late here. Okay, sorry. Cheers, Larry. Yeah, it's late here too. It's 2:24. Have a good sleep and safe journey. Happy holidays if I don't speak to you. It does, Street. Many won't take in it at all. They already think they don't need to. Well, I think the only faith you need is faith that Forrest did something that he said he was going to do. Say hi to OK for us, Larry, if you're still here. Cheers, buddy. Good advice, by the way. What good advice? Did I miss it? Everybody gives good advice. Well, hi, y'all. Hey, Davey B. Uh-oh, who this? Gina Marie Colvin. Hi, she's video. Dun, dun, dun. David needs his coffee, or is that his coffee? Trusted? Hey, Trusted. I didn't even know you were here. When did you come in, Trusted? Son of a beach. Dang, I didn't even see you there. Can't even see you there now. Sorry, Trusted, that I missed you. Hello, hello, hello. Didn't even know you were here. Say goodbye to Larry. Is that a song? No, hats off to Larry. Faith in the Maverick. I think that's what it took. You had to believe in Forrest. You had to believe. He was not trying to steer anybody in the wrong direction. He was trying to steer everybody in the same direction. Just, you had to listen. Rob G. Robbery G? What happened to your tea? Is it daylight robbery? How are you, Rob? All good. Absolute faith. Yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Rob. How you doing? Why you change your name to Robbery G? How you stealing stuff? And my what? Furnace went out. Ooh, gonna be cold. Hats off to Roy Harper. Yeah, happy holidays, Mr. Rob. Too, not just your birthday, but well, happy holidays, everybody. Zozo's come up with a good word, haven't you, Zozo? I'll let you tell him for the holiday season. I'm surprised Paul hasn't been here. Blimey, I've got 21 people here. I did ask earlier if anybody knew. Yeah, I'm going to do some of that as well. If anybody knew if people were going live, hearts and those for the ladies and the hundreds for the girls. And if you're a guy that wants hearts and flowers, then they're for you as well. That's the one, Mary Hannah Kwansmas. But R says, he should shorten it to Hansmas. But he's not having it. He's not having it. Claim it, Sozo. I think that's brilliant. Hansmas. You could have New Zealand in there, like Hamas, and then NZ in the middle. Hamas. That's a word, isn't it? Hamas. Are you going, MJ? Is that a good night bye or a good night hello? Take care and have happy holidays if you are going. Seems. Laugh out loud, not. Oh, sorry, Tim. That's the way it goes. Tim, the other Tim, Gulliver Tim. How did your operation go? Or you've not had it yet? Did you say Wednesday? Good luck with it if you've not had it yet. And yes, we'll definitely catch up. And I sent you an email. Did you not get it? I sent you an email to the email that I've got. If you're still here. Are you still here, Tim? Adventures, Tim? If not, then the email that I have doesn't work, which is not good. I was thinking about getting the Zoom, upgrade, and then trying to do a Zoom. But it's money, money, money. About to go to bed, but how to say good night, Martha. Oh. Not Reeves and the Vandellas. Oh no, you can't get half her out of Hannah Kwansmas. That's a shame. Oh, somebody saying ciao. Trusted. What do you do when the cold weather hits then? Are you being outside doing all that work in the garden and all that house stuff? Do you just shut down? Or do you have a lot to do inside? My dad used to do a whole load of stuff. He'd have allotments. I think I've already said this before, but he'd have allotments and he'd always be out there. Snow, rain, sun. He'd do so much. How can you work in that? What is special about December 15th? It's nearly 30 days before January 14th. What is special about December 15th? I just do whatever I want to. Oh. Because like my dad would like do all the different seeding, have like a greenhouse and do different seeding and different stuff, and he dug a well so he could water the garden and that, so he'd make sure that was in good order. All the frost and that, try and keep that going right. 9 days before Christmas Eve. Well, I think we're at the point where Forrest was going to be shot down, and he's going to find a grave marker, and the secret of that place, came back to him, didn't it? So that would be a few years ago now. He was shot down in 68 or 69, was it? How many years ago was that? And then he walked in the door on Christmas Eve. So he took the Freedom plane home on the 22nd, shot down on the 20th. But then, if that was the case, it would say that Forrest knew what was going to happen around this time of year, if it was related to My War for Me. 9 days before Christmas Eve. Oh, 9 clues. Follow the 9 clues in my poem precisely. It will lead to the end of my rainbow, W, and the E. Treasure, E. We. It will lead to we. Will it? It could do. It could lead to we. W-E-E. Now, I can say that, and everybody can say, no, you're talking at your backside. But am I? It's a truthful statement. The end of rainbow is W, the end of the is E, and the end of treasure is E. Is that a hint in the book that will help you with the clues in the poem? Possibly. Possibly. Oh no. I thought I'd stop. I stopped Zozo saying long words, then Trusted comes along with them. Trusted, have you seen Zozo's word? Happy Hannah Kwanzmas. Hey, Trusted is a pretty good judge. What do you reckon, Trusted? Hansmas. That's better than Happy Hannah Kwanzmas, isn't it? And I'm not taking credit for it, because I would never have thought of it if Zozo had never put that up. But that's a mouthful. Happy Hannah Kwanzmas. Hansmas. Happy Hansmas. Put them all in. One of my sons will be into. Cool, Zozo. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that when you get family. Thrill the Chase is a clue. It's on the book and in it. Absolutely. But again, it's information that's there that you're supposed to find. So you end up in the heart of the hills, but you don't end up in the heart of the hills because of that. There's Creighton, which is young over old, and there's a chest that was in where warm waters, taken from the warm waters to Wyoming. It's a solve. But is it the right solve? Only Forrest will say. But if you don't have the right warm waters halt, might as well stay home and play canasta. Using any solve, you have to be at warm waters halt and take the chest and go at peace at the same time. Hey, my friend, how you doing, IOI? I believe the statement. If I told you to hang around, you'd go right straight to it. Meant he was giving you another way of reading the poem. Made you read it a lot different. I believe it's a factual statement. I believe most of the statements Forrest made are in the poem. You can write them out in the poem. But I believe that statement is a factual statement. If I told you the Homer Brown, you would go right straight to it. And I believe it's factual because he said if you solve the first two clues, you're 50% there metaphorically. If you solve the first two clues, it's academic after that. The little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. So knowing the Homer Brown, you could go right straight to it. And why are you worried about the Homer Brown? Why are you worried about the Blaze if you know the Homer Brown? Which means the Blaze is irrelevant compared to the Homer Brown. So everything that Forrest told you is helping to understand what he's saying, but you just have to understand it. There is no subterfuge in sight. There is subterfuge, you just can't see it. So, I mean, I read the poem differently anyway. Me and Davey together now, but I read the words differently. I read the writings differently. I behave like a child when I read that poem. I find who farted in there. Because, if I was a child, that's what I'd see first. And but, like B-U-T-T, which is another important word. Does begin with have anything to do with the fruit of the chase. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be saying. Does begin it where warm water fault have anything to do with the fruit of the chase. WFCC. Women's Federated Cricket Club. Here is the rest of it. Anyone that has a vow, let him perform it. Hi, hey, Luli. Yes, season greet. That's another way of saying it, rather than all these. Yeah, we're wondering about this Merry Christmas stuff, whether everybody wants to be told Merry Christmas, or you just want to be told Happy Holidays, or Happy Mass from Zozo. You all might be interested in Doug Preston's new book. He has a full story about Forrest, however, and how people behave story that is most interesting. Wow. I think the thrill of the chase is life in general. Tim, as long as you don't breathe. That needs an E on the end, by the way. Breathe. As long as I don't breath. With my last gasp in breath, I'm going to throw myself on that chest. I don't know if you missed what I was saying earlier, but I sent you an email, Tim, with the email that I've got. I don't know if you got it. But I hope the operation and everything, I think it said Wednesday, goes well. Recover quickly. I heard Mario mention me. Sir. Hey, who farted? Yes. So if you're a child, those are the things you'd find. But who farted and those sort of words that are in the poem. Long time no read. Hoof. Obviously, me and Dave have been putting names to these names. And these names are in the poem. Where does every adventure begin? Oh no. Let me think. At home. Where does every adventure begin? I haven't been able to check emails yet. Oh, cool. But, just in case, and when, not just in case, when you're up to it, it was just so to let you know that if I have the right email, we can converse. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. For my idea, the idea was around the poem backwards. So I give you title to the gold is the ID. and then E, and then A, as I've gone along in there. So the idea encompasses the whole poem, and within the poem are the answers, and you get the answers from the poem because of the idea that Forrest had, and that idea that he had has taken so many years to come to fruition, and something will end that idea, and if nobody solved it, Forrest would have took it with him. Thanks a lot, imagination. I always enjoy hearing and reading, not hearing, reading what you have to say. Take care. Ciao for now. Happy holidays if I don't read you again. IKEA. What's that all about? Everybody's bringing up IKEA. Still in Wyoming till Saturday, then fly home to Georgia. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I know all about clots. I had an embolism in my lung. Not good. Not good at all. And an idea is not going down that road street because, it's a man-made structure. I think that if a person was at one, you could see the rest of the poem. I think if a person was at Warm Waters Hole, yes, you could, if you knew the geographical location to every spot, you could see the spot from where Waters Hole. Hoof is an alias of Red X. Oh, cool. Right back where we started. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think that's the answer that I see here. I don't think that's the answer Forrest wanted. There's too many loopholes in there. Tim, did you do any gem hunting up in Wyoming? He's not well at the moment. I can't see him doing too much. The Kia frames the poem. The four corners. It is, yes, the four corners. Yes. As I've said, there is so much information in there that is easily believable. You could believe that Isa was the place that you return to because Azai is Isa. So you go to Isa Lake, which is near where the GPS was, which is another, and that does actually have warm waters that go backwards. So you read it backwards and you end up with Isa Lake. So, and a backwards bike and blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of information in the poem that is so believable, depending how your mind works. So Forrest must have thought of everybody. He says, I believe I thought of everything. So he put them all there and we all found them. And each person believes that they're correct and no one else is. That's impossible. Impossible. If the souls are that good that you believe 100% you're correct, then you know that you have to be wrong. You have to be wrong because everybody can't be that correct. No way. It's impossible. Dave can't be 100% correct. Five Lee can't be 100% correct. Street can't be 100% correct. Troy can't be 100% correct. Trusty can't be 100% correct. I can't be 100% correct. Davey can't be 100% correct. It's impossible for everybody to be 100% correct. And yet, each solve tells them, yeah, I'm 100% correct. You're wrong. No, you're right. I'm right. Forrest will tell us who's correct. That's it, in a nutshell. Forrest thought of everything. He gave everybody what he said he wished I could live to do all the things I was attributed to. We all believe he did all these things. We all believe he's DB Cooper. We all believe he's Omega Man. We all believe he's whatever we believe. Forrest wished he could live to do the things that we say he did. We say he did. We attribute it, all these things to Forrest. We do, not him. He hasn't said he's any of these things. We say that he is, and he knows that. And he warned us. We can't all be 100% right. No way. Yeah, to go where memory has not been. Everybody's talking about memories that have happened, things that have happened. 12 days till Christmas. Wow, time. Wow, time flies. To go where memory. It sounds like Star Trek. No. No, you can't. If you have a thought, your thought is not your memory. But then your thought is still not your memory when you have the memory. It's not a thought. God. Yeah, don't argue with me. Argue with Street. He's talking about his soul's perfect, and you're talking about your soul's perfect. And Zozo says his soul is right. So, argue amongst yourselves because I say you're right. Why are you arguing with me? I say you're right. But your thought is man made, and your brain is a structure. So you associate your man made structure with your soul. For me, makes it incorrect. It's not associated with the man made structure. Now, if your thought was separate to the man made structure, then I might, consider it. But then you can't be 200 feet from it and you can't be 500 feet from it. That's impossible. So, and there's hundreds more. So I'm not saying you're incorrect. I'm saying how you think of it is correct. How I think of it is different. Same with the ciphers. Yes, I see the ciphers, but they don't agree with if I told you the Homer Brown, you go right straight to it. They don't agree with if you saw the first two clues, you're 50% there, metaphorically speaking. They don't agree with those statements. So I can't agree with them because Forrest said, Mario, they're wrong. What risk and she today? Sorry, trusted. No, I'm just saying, I think everybody's right. They're trying to argue with me that their solve is correct, but Forrest says, those answers aren't correct. So, I'm not going to argue with the person who set up the chase. A thought is a man-made structure. Associating the thought with that man-made structure makes it incorrect. Is that why Forrest said it? I don't know. But to me, it makes it incorrect. You can't have a man-made structure and associate it with the soul. And you have to know why the little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. Heck, she can go in thought just the same as the rest of us. I know, but you're debating the same thing and I'm saying the same thing, so there's no point debating it. I cannot agree that thought is not man-made. And I can't agree that 200 feet and 500 feet. And I can't agree that the little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. Whilst it's credible and it's a solve, what Forrest is saying, it doesn't make sense. So, and that's not saying that you're incorrect. That's saying that I don't understand it compared to what Forrest said. Debating state effects because, yeah, every thought matters and every idea matters. But see, my facts are words. I give you words. And, those are real words. You can read those words in that. You don't have to believe them. I've told you hundreds of times. You don't have to believe me, but you do have to, believe that Forrest has done something, which is not, what people are saying is bad. It's not bad. And if everybody is correct, everybody will get something. Forrest was a great teacher. Our lessons, and we've still yet to, when it ends, be handed, the biggest lesson of all. Yes, the search for the bronze box was over. Yep, I agree that. Absolutely. And don't say the search for the treasure. I say the search for the bronze box. I hid a chest in the Rocky Mountains. If you find it, you can have it. Or a physical touch. Yes, true, Alberti, true. What a person thinks is man-made thought is not man-made. A dog thinks, a cat thinks. Do they? Do they think? I think, therefore I am. They might dream. I'll give you that. I see thoughts from an unknown source. That shows. And even if it was, it's still man-made. It'd be dog-made for a dog and cat-made for a cat, and it's still made by a man. And again, you could be right, but I don't see it as, I don't think Forrest would have done that. And I may be incorrect for thinking that. But the statement, even, forget that man-made, 200 feet from the treasure, 500 feet from the treasure. So-and-so was, 1,000 feet from the treasure. How can it be thought? It's just too many variables for it to be one thought. But that's not to say you're wrong. That's to say, look, there's another, solution that's in the poem. And, try and fit the things that Forrest said to them. I was made in USA. Woohoo! Need a tattoo for that soon. The invisible touch. Yes, I have a dream. That's it for me. I was created in my choice. Yeah, and all I say is, why did Forrest talk about the light bulb? Why did he talk about the big picture? Why did he say advertising? Why? In your solve, it would be wise if you put all of those statements to your solve and they all fit and you know exactly why he said it. There should be no doubt in a solver's mind. Everything that Forrest said would make sense. Did the hot water affect the patina? Absolute 100% real reason why Forrest said that statement. I'm sure it was named after you. Was that the original? Really got Bella Bell. Same. Yes, Bella Bell. Beautiful. Beautiful Bell. Mapping the neural patterns in our brain is impossible. This is yes, Forrest liked to think, but he gave us a lot of statements. Now, in order to understand what Forrest was talking about with regard to the spot, all of those statements have to be taken into account and have to be understood. Once you take them into account and understand them, you know of the spot, but you don't know where it is. Not yet, anyway. I defy anybody to tell me where it is. They might know of it, but they don't know where it is. I was napping away, dreaming. Then I woke up suddenly and thought, you guys are all out here thinking. Yes, deep thinking using logic. That's what we were doing. It matters. Yeah, and nothing can change now. It's been Forrest put in motion what was supposed to happen in the chase, whenever that started. And now he put in motion what was happening for the end of the chase after the chest was found. So the chase still continues until the real story is known and the real treasure is found. Not found, the real treasure, the real treasure and the real story. When those two come together, then we'll know. Absolutely, Alberti. 100%. Whatever Forrest said should confirm your solve, or your solve could confirm everything Forrest said. Yeah, you had to find the exact spot. 20 different types of land, one spot. Don't happen. Subchapter S's. Don't happen. Not with a chest. It don't happen. It does not happen. I don't care whether you thought it, whether you dreamt it, whether you sucked on a lollipop. It don't happen. There has to be a reason why Forrest said all of those things. Street, I could say yes to all of your questions, but I don't believe that is what Forrest intended us to do. I agree with everything you say. I don't agree with the answer. I agree with everything Five Leaf says. I don't agree with the answer. I agree with everything Trusted said. I don't believe the answer. It is the answer. I don't believe it is. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. You will not convince me to go against what Forrester says. No one will. I align everything that Forrest said with potential solves. If they don't align, I don't agree with it. That doesn't say that you're wrong. That says I do not agree. The knowledge you learn because of... Well, exactly, there is that. Even that. Thanks, Who Farted. Even that. X is there in spirit. Just that statement. If you understand that statement, you know what's happening, or should know. The end game, entity, X marks the spot, plaza. It's all telling you something. It's all telling you something. It's information that is telling you something, and you have to understand that something in order to move on. But yeah, there is, well, without a D, the knowledge that I learned. Even that statement, when Forrest was talking about it, it's like knowledge without a D. You have to understand that reason why he said it. In the heart of the Rockies. Even that one, even at the heart of those statements, they all relate to something. Hey, asterisk, yes, X. Yeah, he couldn't make it more obvious by hiding it. Even that word, hide. The poem has 160 something words, 24 lines, 6 stanzas, and he built it, crafted it, felt like an architect. There is no way that all the answers that have been given out are correct, but they were put in that poem, absolutely were, for you to find. Now, if Five Leafs cipher is the best answer to the poem, if it's the best answer to the poem, how did Forrest manage to put all the others in there? So obviously, if you're not Five Leaf, you think yours is the best answer. Well, how did he put Five Leaf's answer in there then? Because it's in there. How did he put Dave from the East? It's in there. How did he put Bill's? It's in there. How did he put Streets? It's in there. And all Zozo in there. And all of the others. Ben's in there. How did he put them all in the poem? And how does everybody believe that they are 100% correct? Either they are paid to say it to cause chaos, or they believe it wholeheartedly and haven't heard a word that Forrest has said. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Me and David say, how come people don't respond when things are said? It's like either they're so busy believing what they believe, or they're paid to just ignore what's been said. Happy wed. You have heard it here, folks. Mary does not agree with my soul. It's okay, but I don't agree with anybody's soul. That doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means I've seen that solve in the poem, and that doesn't align with what Forrest said. So I would be foolish to agree, because that would mean that I was ignoring what Forrest said. But that's my deduction. That's nothing against what you think. It's against what I believe Forrest was saying. Forrest doesn't tell me 200 feet, 500 feet, all of us, 200 feet, 500 feet from the treasure for no reason. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say solve the first 2 clues, you're halfway there, metaphorically, for no reason. If you are not halfway there after 2 clues, your solve is incorrect. It has to be. Because Forrest is not a liar. He was telling us the truth. And he didn't say it once. He said, solve the first 2 clues. It's academic after that. He said, solve the first 2 clues. Walk right by the chest. He said, if I told you the home of Brown, you go right to it. He said, why are you worried about the blaze if you know what the home of Brown is? And the list goes on. If you can't tally those statements to your solves, and I can't do that with the solves that people tell me, I can't tell you those statements, which is why I said it doesn't say try the wheel. It says try the law wheel, which is do a circle, put quarters in, put the 4 states in, and then put that information in those states. That's the law wheel, not try the wheel. The other one is try the heel, which is the end, which is next to try the heel. The end, which is down the bottom, and try the wheel. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying here's information that Forrest gave us, and people choose what they think it says. But Forrest says words don't mean what you think they do. So you have to try and think what Forrest was saying, not what you think he said. And that's why I don't agree. Not because I want to be correct and I want you to be wrong. It's because I believe Forrest told us the truth. And I try to work out what he meant by the little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues. Not can't get past them, can't get closer. Nobody can get closer than the first 2 clues based on all the other clues or information or hints or whatever you want to say. Nobody can get closer than the first 2 clues. That's where you get to. Because if I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. Solved the first 2 clues, went right past it. Nobody, no one can get closer than the first 2 clues. No one. So I go by what Forrest said, not by what everybody else is saying. Sorry if that was a bit long, Trusted, but it's nothing against you or anybody. I think everybody's right because their answers are in the poem. It's just they don't tally with what Forrest said. Yes. It's written in the poem. Your soul's written in the poem with your name. Troy's is written in the poem. They're all written in the poem. All your names, all of them, are in the poem. I don't know how Forrest did it. I don't know whether you're all involved, which is something that I said to Forrest. I sent him an email saying, I don't know who's the chase. And he even said it. He came out in one of the things and said, some people won't give me their solutions because they don't trust me or something. And that was at one of those points, people says, I think Forrest is talking to me. That was the only one time that I thought Forrest said something that he was actually, referring to me. It's like, who are all these people in the poem with all these souls that all go to the same spot? They're in exactly the same spot in the poem. But then you have to make the poem into a map. So with that map, you could be in Montana, you could be in New Mexico, you could be in Colorado, you could be anywhere with that map. It's a good map. Do you want to put the next one on the exit sounds like exit, and then spell it Salida. My solution was in Salida, Colorado. The heart of the Rockies. Salida. Place where the poem describes. Sure, must be real cool. Actually, if the hot water affects the patina, it must be a hot place. Yeah, I miss Forrest. I know Forrest doesn't need me to argue for him, but, we are all here. Hey, Golden Key, how you doing? First made is a circle. Yes, a circle of friends he made us. Yeah, I could never understand why people fell out in the chase. I honestly couldn't. I don't. And again, it goes back to everyone believes that everyone's part of Chase Inc. And, there are other people out there. Treasure Poem goes under different names. Things we don't know what they all are, but, he's still out there. Will Aware's still out there. The Dutchman from the East probably still out there. There are people that don't voice an opinion, but they have, good souls that could potentially be correct. Brent John, another good soul. And that, there's no denying it's a good soul. The souls are good souls, but that's what Forrest said. Offered as good solutions. There's no denying they're good souls. If somebody had solved the poem before 2019, they would know. They would know. They would know they solved it. Not think they solved it. They would know they solved it. And by that, I don't mean just adamant that they solved it. I mean, they would know. And the answers I already know, that word know, tells you. I don't profess to say that I know everything that Forrest was alluding to, but I have a pretty good idea why things that are being said, and Davey, why things that are being said are being said. And we wait, and that's all we can do, and that's all that Forrest could do. And, you can't rush. You can't rush it. It is what it is. It will happen when it happens. The something will happen. That something will happen. If the chest was only the lure, why is everybody still moaning about it? That's the one thing, I say to David, why are they still worried about it? What? If it's only the lure, why are you still worried about it? What is the other thing? What did Forrest want to take with him? What was after take the chest and go in peace? What was after that? It doesn't matter that you found a chest. if that was only the lure. You were all supposed to find a chest. That was the whole point of it. You're supposed to stop looking, find the chest, stop looking. That's it. End of story. Your real name or this name, Lulybell? That numbers real searches. It's very possible. I mean, I like to think. I don't know how Forrest did this. He couldn't have done it on his own. If he did, I mean, it's mad enough that it was done anyway. But to make it work, to do all this, there must be other people involved. There must be. It's just the do they know? You know, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Do they know that bit? Do they know a little bit of it? And that's important. You know, what bit is it that they know? That's crucial. Absolutely. So I don't know. I don't know how he did it. Don't know. Don't know how he did it. Were you that friend, Lou? You know, he said, or you said, you know, he offered to take you to the second treasure or something. Who created Chase Inc. is a big question. Who created Word Hippo is a big question. No, I don't know if Chase Inc. was created or whether, you know, the searchers created Chase Inc. I think if there was a company called Chase Inc., we'd probably know about it, unless it was, you know, by any other name. What was it in my head? Hey, that guy, you can't survive. I think there's two in mine. There's mine and Forrest. Mine that says stupid things, and then Forrest that tells me I'm stupid. Something in the chase will happen. Forrest told everyone on June 6, 2020. My treasure has been found. Yes, he did. And he wasn't talking about the chest sitting on the table in the office. Chasing personally on the bar. I have So, yeah. So Ralph Lauren's fault this is, according to Forrest. He said, you know, Forrest, you have so many. You can't take it with you. Well, if I can't take it with me, I'm not going. So therefore, that should tell you this isn't about a chest. Forrest wanted to take it with him, not give it away. He wanted to take it with him. If I can't take it with me, I'm not going. So we'll blame Ralph. Hey, Joe John. Oh, you should have kept growing your beard. Also, boom. Cheers, Joe John. Yeah, I know I don't have to defend Forrest because Forrest has given us the truth and that. It begs belief that people think that it's. I know Forrest said it was simple, but he said it was difficult but not impossible, and he said you have to earn it. You know, some of the solutions probably took 3-4 months. Some people less than that probably, which doesn't do Forrest any justice. When they say, you know, I don't know, it just doesn't do him justice. But thanks for that. You know, I'm not saying that we're correct. I am saying that Forrest told us the truth. He put all the answers in the poem for us to find. It was up to us to understand what he was saying, not to just, you know, ignore what Forrest said, because that's what most people seem to be doing. They don't care that Forrest gave us all these hints, clues, whatever you want to say, nudges. Even that nudge, even that is, I don't believe that, even from beyond the grave, Forrest is running stuff. I don't know if Forrest is laughing or is angry or whatever, but when people say things like, Forrest left a shit show and blah blah blah, it's like he hasn't left a shit show. He's told you exactly what's happening. He warned you before 2020 he was going to be taking flack. We should think nice thoughts. Asked Charlotte to drain the pond. Big things 2020. Look forward to promising new discoveries. He gave us a lot of words that meant, hang in there. To me, maybe not to you, but to me meant hang in there. I understand it's going to be rough, but hang in there. And everybody just went, oh, look at the mess he's left. We want the answers. We deserve this. We deserve that. I want my chest. I solved the poem. And it's like, I don't know whether these people really believe that they've got the answers, and they may have the answers for all I know. Or, I don't know. People talk about suing people, or there's people waiting to sue. There will be enough to sue for. When the answers come out, if you knew the answers to the poem, there will be enough to sue for. Seriously. If you're arguing that Forrest didn't do this right or didn't do it correct, you're in the wrong corner. You're in the wrong corner. And you're going to have egg on your face when the answers come out, because Forrest absolutely did do this correctly. Absolutely. And, if you think that, and this goes out to, people like Dave, don't know whether he's a real searcher or not, but if you think that you have the answers and Forrest doesn't, it's going to hurt. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Everything that you did, everything that you said, and the effort that you went through to get your solve, it's going to hurt if you're a real searcher and believe what you believe. And I can only feel sorry for you. You may be right. You may be 100% correct. I can only feel sorry for you if you're not. Continue to something else. Yeah, Forrest was also this, and he's not. No, is it heck? Well done, who farted? It's not. And anybody that thinks differently should, get their mind examined, because just so underestimate that person. Major Forrest Burke fan. That is why it smells like a fake ending is given. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. But I think, Forrest needed the fake ending. No, it's not the first ending. He needed the first ending for the chaos. And the rest of it, will be history. Woody Bog. I don't know how to take that, but if you knew the answer, or what I think is the answer, it would seem like, so why is it that I must go? Better bet you're alive. Things are far more. Yeah, this is. I have only good things to say about Forrest Fenn and the people that help make it happen, and for the something that's going to end it, and all the other stuff. there's 3 books, there's a project, there's other stuff that Forrest talked about. Nobody bothers mentioning. All they're talking about is a chest, and I don't get it. Forrest did so much more, and is giving so much more, and has done so much more, and everybody's just talking about a chest. And Forrest didn't even say if that chest had anything in it. I made 2 trips, hid the chest, I hid the treasure. I put a chest in the Rocky Mountains. If you find it, you can have it. He didn't even say there's a chest of treasure in the Rocky Mountains. So, I don't know. People just want to believe what they want to believe and don't listen to what Forrest is saying or what he could potentially be saying. And I firmly believe when it comes out and you know about the 3 books and you know about the project and you know about all the other stuff that Forrest was talking about, for me, in my mind, it's a bit like to have faith in the Maverick when he tells you the answers. You should have believed before this point. Everybody says there's shenanigans, and I don't believe there's shenanigans. I believe there's a making it happen, a process, a plan. I know Forrest says he doesn't like making plans, but I believe this is all planned. This is part of an ongoing plan to, Forrest says, I don't know where I'm going, but I only know that I've got to get there quickly, or something like that. That's got nothing to do with being in thought. It's got nothing to do with any other solve, other than at a point in time that something will happen in his history for him. I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I've got to get there, or something like that. Something that he's trying to make happen. That's what the book was about, that page 15. It wasn't about a searcher finding a chest. It wasn't. Absolutely wasn't. If you think it is, then you've read the wrong book. Absolutely read the wrong book. If you think it's about you solving a poem and finding a chest, no. No, it wasn't about you finding a chest. I don't know. Even if I'm wrong, even if Davey's wrong, this is still about Forrest. It's not about us. It's not about whether we're right or wrong. It's not about whether anyone else is right or wrong. This is about Forrest and, that asterisk, in a book that was never written, etc., etc., etc. Excuse me. Icky tash. Anyway, I think I better go because, oh dear, it's 3:25. If somebody's going live, they're probably already gone live. Sorry if somebody's live. Didn't mean to go on and rant for so long. I thank you, everybody that's here. I'm not arguing with anyone. I'm not trying to ridicule your soul or anything. Just saying, I try to listen to what Forrest said, and the information that Forrest gives, I try to relate to a soul that I've done. I've done lots of souls, and I've thought of those souls that you talk about. I've seen them, I've read them, and I put those words that Forrest said to them, and yeah, they're good souls. But I've told you before, I've typed in numbers. I've typed in numbers because that's what the poem says. Do go to a place. It's a lock-up. It's a green door, the same colour as the Too Far to Walk book. It's a number 9. You type in the number, goes up, and then you go, oh, I've got a solve that has that. I've got a solve that you go in the wood, which is a part of an oven, the wood bit, and then there is a key, and that key is a number on the oven. That's a address, and it takes you to a brown house. You have a key to this brown house. Those are the sort of solves that I've done. And I've been everywhere. I've done lots of different souls. Seriously, because there are lots of different souls to be had. And out of those 350,000 people in the chase, I've probably done most of them. And, I had to give them up because they didn't relate to what Forrest talked about. I hope you get well soon. Hopefully we can talk. I'm going to try and do this Zoom thing, get people on, we can have a chat, face to face as opposed to just words. Cheers, hoof-hearted. Thank you. I don't say it that way. Hoof-hearted. And take care, everybody. Each have a good night. Each, if I don't speak to you or see you or read you, have a happy Handsmas. Have a happy Handsmas. Thanks, Zozo, for that word. I'm going to keep it in my brain and lodge it there. Take care, Trusted, Tim, Davey, Alberti, Luli, anybody else who's still awake. Cheers, Zozo. Thanks a lot. All good. Take care, everyone. Ciao for now. Oop, and stream.